with a session on rural innovation. The presenters will be sharing ideas that drive progress in rural areas, creating lasting change where it is most needed. It is my pleasure to invite the chair for this session, Ms. Soujanya Veguru, CSR Head at Cummins India Limited, and the co-chair for the session, Mr. Shashank Kothari, Senior Vice President of Platform Engineering at Angel One and a mentor at PIC Social Innovation Lab, to take their seats on stage and lead the session. I would also like to acknowledge the distinguished jury members for this session, Mr. Pradeep Bhargava, Chairman of Automotive Stampings and Assemblies Limited, Mr. Pradeep Lokhande, Founder of Rural Relations, Ms. Priyanki Shah, Senior Project Manager at Pune Knowledge Cluster. With that, I hand over the session to you, Ms. Veguru and Mr. Kothari.
Hi, good afternoon. Nice to be back. Shashank and I have the very enviable job to keep you all entertained right after lunch. So please be patient with us. Before we kickstart this session formally, I would like to invite the three organizations who will be presenting in this section. Transform, do we have the team from Transform coming up? Hi, please come. Rozgar Dhaba. Hi, thank you. Thanks for coming up. And Sare Tare Zameen Par. Thank you. So we will have more detailed introductions of the presenters, and Shashank will invite them and introduce them more formally. But I thought I would kind of set the tone a little bit for this session because it's something that is, I'm sure, close to all of our hearts, which is about rural India and rural innovation. We all know 65% of India's population lives in its villages. 40% of GDP comes from rural activities. Agri-tech will actually reach $25 billion economy by 2025. And there are close to 180 million learners in rural India. So it's a vast space. It's a vibrant space. It's a space that we are all, working towards to create some kind of social impact. So I'm very, very pleased to be here in front of you. I'm Soujanya. I lead CSR at Cummins. So I'm so happy that I'm seeing old friends. I've made new friends today from the fraternity. I have seen some of my heroes here and all of my co-travelers in this space. So welcome to the Rural Innovation Session. So today we've heard from many innovators already about the issues plaguing India and especially rural India. So we've heard about 50% of our population being anemic, which is an alarming kind of a statistic. Especially in the education space, those who have been working in this area know about the teacher shortage, the quality of education, the gaps in foundational learning, and also the physical infrastructure. About 65% of schools do not have digital learning systems. And while these statistics say a story, but each of us have gone to schools which need physical infrastructure, which need wash facilities, before they need other systems to make sure children come to a place where they feel safe before they can learn. So to solve for these problems, there is a need for social innovators, who we've heard from today, and we'll be hearing from these innovators also. Why rural transformation and rural innovation actually becomes important is because it really triggers a multiplier effect, especially solutions tailored for rural spaces. They will transform physical infrastructure, they'll transform education, they'll transform health outcomes, and finally transforming lives. So my very best to our rural innovators who are trying to reshape the rural landscape and drive equitable and inclusive growth. So with that, I invite Shashank to share his comments and introduce our presenters. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I think Soujanya stole the post-lunch joke, so I'll skip that one. So we had 200 plus participants across all categories, 90 plus in the rural category. We have 6 finalists, 3 will be presenting today. The criteria that we used was basically what is the problem space that they're trying to address, what is the potential social impact and the market size, what is the solution, how innovative is it, and focused on use of technology. And finally, what is the current traction in the terms of development as well as in terms of deployment. So that's sort of the criteria that we used. And without much ado, I will call on Transform Schools to start with the session. Right.
Hello, I'm Pallavi and I'm the Director of Development at Transform Schools. I'm here to talk about our work and our proven at-scale program, Transform Learning. So we've seen that in education, there has been a lot of provisioning when it comes to foundational literacy, early childhood care, but the space that doesn't get a lot of focus is secondary education. So that's grades 6 to 10. We see that 50% of children are dropping out of school. Another 25% can't read a grade 2 text. And we see classroom sizes are large, teachers are less, and children are being left behind. But we have seen many opportunities in the space as well. Thanks to organizations like Pratham, we've seen that targeted instruction as a tool can work for students in accelerating their learning gains. Research has also shown that there are intergenerational changes as well when you invest in secondary education. Women who continue secondary education are getting married later. There is a delayed age at which they give birth. So these are positive impacts that we see. And finally, we have seen that government systems can also deliver. Coming to what we do at Transform Schools. So we work with a system of actors to build and pilot education solutions that once they're tested and we know their efficacy, we can take them to scale. By scale, I mean we partner with state governments, we sign MOUs with them, and these programs then get scaled statewide. So on your screens on the left, you'll see the programs that we are working with direct intervention. Those are our education innovations. And on the right, you see the programs that we take to scale. And I will be talking about the Transform Learning program today. Just quickly with our reach, so we have currently reached about 98 lakh students across the country. This is across 8 states. We currently work in state partnership in Odisha, Tripura, and Karnataka. With direct, teachers also expressed, more contentment with teaching because they were able to understand the tools. They had better leadership in their classrooms. And the RCT also told us that this was one of the most cost-effective programs at scale. And this can go even lower with the larger the scale that there is. Coming to our business model, and this is how we've been working since 2019. So 80% of our program funding comes from government funds, that's public funding that they are mandated to use. And 20% of funding comes from CSRs, foundations, HNIs. And recently our latest stream, which has been service contracts. So in Tripura, we've, working with the World Bank to develop a teacher professional development program statewide. Going forward, our goal is to reach 2 crore students by 2030. And that's 25% of students in secondary school. And to do this, what we've been doing this year is we've been going deeper in the existing states where we've been working. We want to make sure we're working not just in government schools, but aided schools and affordable private schools as well. And then we want to be able to scale up into new states. Which brings me to where the funding gap is. So for something like Transform Learning to run at scale, we've given the figures here for Maharashtra's government school students, which is about 37 lakhs. It would be about 1.2 crores. And this number remains more or less the same with any given state. And if it had to run in direct intervention, we would layer some of Transform Learning's teaching elements and put it with an innovation. So in one of my earlier slides, I showed you a slew of our innovations as well. We layer these programs, and that would be about 90 lakhs to be able to do that in direct partnership with schools. I've also listed out some of our funders there. And we are also cognizant of the fact that 1.2 crore of funding towards this program can unlock around 9 crores in public funding. And that's just a huge amount for the government to be able to provision for this program. Finally, this is our team. We have our founder and co-founder, Pankaj and Tanushri, who can be with us here today. And yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have Rozgar Dhaba next. Neelam, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's have more energy in the room. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I'm Neelam Pathak, and I'm the co-founder and CEO for Rozgar Dhaba. But before I take you on the journey of the Rozgar Dhaba, I have a story to tell you. Sorry. Now, this is the story of Rahul. He's from a very small village called Bhusawla. You might not have heard this. So this village is in a district called Gajipur in the eastern UP village. Very small village. Now Rahul was an ITI passed out and he was searching for a job. Now the village, you can see at the left side of it, it's a very village which has hardly any connectivity. And then Rahul was thinking, यार चलो मैं भी अपने दूसरे लोगों की तरह दिहाड़ी मजदूर की तरह चला जाता हूँ. Bihar and UP are the states which are known for the migrant laborers, we all know. And then he was, even though being an ITI, he was thinking of, chalo, dihadi mazdoor karke jata hu and I'll work into this. The middle picture is of their household. They are a family of 4 people, the father, mother, and an elder brother, and Rahul. You can see his father's monthly income was hardly 5,000 rupees, and he is a farmer basically. So sustaining with the 5K rupees per month is a difficult thing. And that is when we at Rozgar Dhaba did a camp into Rahul village. We work in one of the, few of the remotest areas of the places in India. And we did a Rozgar camp. Rahul registered with us. We understood what his skills are, what he can work in. And that is where a Rozgar Dhaba team registered him and also told him that these are the skilling things which you have a gap to have this, job. The last picture which you can see is actually Rahul in Tata Motors line, where he's receiving Best Team Member of the Award in December last year. So we met Rahul in May 2023, and the last picture is Rahul in December 2023, where he is actually getting Best Team Award, Best Team Member Award from his line supervisor. Now today Rahul earns a very good sum of money, and his family income has also increased. Not only that, that's not important. The important thing is he has become one of our volunteer champion to tell to other people in the villages and in his nearby community that, okay, you can also change and transform your life. And this is what exactly we at Rozgar Dhaba do. So the problem that we are working on is the unsafe rural migration that is happening from the rural Indias to the cities. And when the migration happens, people are forced to live in unsafe and unhealthier conditions. Just to tell you, I also lost my cousin brother, when he went as a migrant labor. I hail from this, I'm from Bihar, and I've actually have done my initial education from there only. And I've seen the plights of the migrant worker. And that is the reason that left my 22 years of corporate career job, even being a mechanical engineer, and started this organization to help support more people. So when there's migrant labor, so the problem that we are trying to work is how can we reduce the unsafe migration and also the unemployment from rural India? And that is what the solution is about Rozgar Dhaba. What Rozgar Dhaba does is we give a one-stop platform. We are saying, sorry, I don't know why it is moving it fast. So we are giving one-stop platform where one can come, get the skilling, get the guaranteed jobs, get the documentation and welfare scheme support for them and for their family members. So if you are if you know anybody, if you are somebody from those rural backgrounds or tier 3 cities, you can come to. And we realize one thing, if you're working in the rural India, you just can't be only on tech. You need to have a face because it's all about community trust. You need to build that trust. And that's why we operate in hybrid model. We have our offline centers as well as our tech platform and Google Play Store as Rozgar Dhaba. So one thing which we realize is that what we give as a guaranteed is that it's not only that you get the skill with us, we will also give you guaranteed jobs. And that's why in a very short time, we were able to make that. So how we work in, every time I'm changing it, it is moving 3 sliders. How we work is, so if there is somebody who has who is impacted by unemployment or, who needs a job. We conduct welfare camps, we conduct Rojgar camps, we do skilling. And, in the morning I heard, fund is not the everything that when we started skilling, we didn't have much of funds. So what we did is, we called volunteers, and we called volunteers from corporates, from students who can be our skill champions. And I'm proud to say that we have more than 3,500 volunteers, listed volunteers today, who work in. And our enablers are, naturally, we have corporate partners. We have more than 22 corporate partners who also hire from us for their skilled workforce. We have our volunteer champions. We have our tech platform, and also we have our offline centers through which we communicate and engage with the community. Now, if you see, there are, as per the government data, there are more than 5 crore youth who are unemployed into the rural areas, which actual situation is more than that. We are targeting that we wanted to reach to at least 10% of this by 2030. We are a very, new organization, just 2 years old organization. So we are saying by 2030, we want to reach it to at least 30 lakhs or 3 million people and empower them and help them. Now, what we did so far is, now this is our team. I take care of the business part. I take care of the business part. My co-founder also take care of the operations part. And the bottom line, which you see, is the most important people of our actually organization. They are the people from that same village, same community. We actually hire from the local for local. We don't go outside and hire and deploy it to the other area. And that is how we are also creating the employment opportunities for the local communities who are engaging. And that is why, if you see whether it is Umesh or they are from those villages. So these are the people whom we are, and they are our community coordinators. Now, what we have done so far, since April last year, we connected around 50,000 people. We offered safer jobs in organized sector to around 3,000 people and almost helped 18,000 people for their documentations and welfare schemes. We conducted around 43,000 of volunteer skilling hours, and these are all volunteer skilling hours. Out of that, we also have a focus because, men still can go to the nearest factory to work. But what about rural women? They only get that time between cooking the food and the next time, and that is the time they wanted to utilize. And they said, no, we cannot go outside, or we cannot go. What we want to earn and learn is here only at our own place. So we said, why not to do rural entrepreneurship programs for the rural women? And that's how we supported more than 75 rural women, where we help them, the women who are digital savvy, for the digital trading. And that is where we have partners who help them to even onto that. While for the women who are not digital savvy, we help them for the learning the trade skills. Now, suppose if I help them learn the trade skill, what next? No, we also tied up them that, suppose I'll give you an example of kullad making. We help them learn how to make the kullad. We also help them get the machine, a very simple mechanical machine which can make around 600 kullad per day, and then tying up them who is going to buy from them. So there is not that I leave them at the skill. I need to give them how are they going to get this sustainable livelihood. And that is the aim for Rojgar Dhaba. That will give them more safer livelihood, and that's how we will be solving the problem. Now, what is our expectation from NSCI? One is surely, currently we are operating in 245 villages, approximately 25 districts in UP. We are working in Bihar, we are working in MP and a part of Maharashtra, and now we are going in Vidarbha. We also want to go into the Northeast, and Orissa and West Bengal. Now you know all the regions that I said. These are the regions which are impacted by the migration of the laborers, and also there is a high level of unemployment in these states. And that is the reason these are a focus. So surely we are looking for fundraise. We have a target of this year around 50 lakhs. We have already raised 22 lakhs, and rest amount we are looking for that. Second is, what is important is, more than fund, we are also looking for mentorship to work with the governmental skilling. And that is where we seek support and inputs. And the last is network and connection, as I said, as CSR partners, and also the partners who wants to hire from us. So if you have a business need, you can also hire from us and help those rural. Now, what is our roadmap? As I said, in 2024, only in year 2024 alone, we wanted to reach to additional 50,000. We wanted to also reach into the Northeast, Vidarbha, and West Bengal and Orissa. These are the other states where we wanted to make our footprints. By year 2030, we wanted to reach to around 3 million people and wanted to empower them. Basically, not only reach will be 10 times of that, but we wanted to empower them with the employability, with the skills. Second is we also wanted to establish ourselves as India's one of the largest and the biggest skilling and employability platform for rural India. And we are very proud to say that we are one of the few who works into those remote areas. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for patiently listening to us.
Thanks, Neelam. Next, we have Sare Tare Zameen Par Trust, Dinesh.
Good afternoon. I'm Dinesh Badgandi. My second name is Badgandi, which is actually a name of a village in northern part of Karnataka. I'm a mechanical engineer and MBA. Did my schooling. Luckily, I got into Sainik school. Otherwise, I was studying in a government school in a village which had a population of less than 1,000 people. Even now, it's a very small village. The reason why I'm telling you this is relevant to what I'm presenting today. Look at the product that we have, the services that we have. These kids in a rural India, they are excited about astronomy, enjoying, they are getting very close to the stars, planets and things like that. Amazing experience. And if you actually look at India, I mean, a lot of speakers today have spoken about rural India. One end, we are talking about 5 trillion economy, superpower and all that. But reality is, we are still, our rural India is still stuck into many social issues. And let me tell you, education to a kid is a big thing. And especially when I graduated in '94, none of the companies outside India treated us well. We were picturized more as a country of snake channels. But Chandrayaan and things like that have really transformed India. But still, the rural India is yet to be transformed. There are 20. When you went to a planetarium, somebody took you to a planetarium or Nehru Science Center in Mumbai, you came out with a big dream. And the reason why you are sitting in a powerful seat today is because of the big dream that you had. And you came out with a big dream saying, I want to become an astronaut, scientist and all that. But even today there are 20 crore kids who will never get an opportunity to dream. And you had many examples of dreams and how they have made it. And if you are not, you land up in a long. In fact, many of my classmates, they are daily wage workers just because they could not get a bigger path in life. And these 20 crore kids are like, if you are able to give them an opportunity to learn, create an infrastructure to learn, give them a science and maths teacher, especially when you are talking about a 5 trillion economy, nobody is actually looking at who's going to deliver it. I mean, there are so many skills required, and unless we hit it at that ground level in the school education, we are not going to make it happen. You have had, China is a good example. But is it possible to arrange this kind of infrastructure at each and every place? Arrange teachers, that's a big thing. Is it possible to do that? And it is so difficult to look at it. Our population is spread like this. There are 1.26 million schools in rural India. That's a big number. And some of the villages are still not reachable. And we are working towards this goal actually. And this is what we have done. So. No. By the way, till that is getting resolved. We have just got into Pune. We are working with Serum Institute, a small project we are executing, which is launched only this year, and we are working with around 15 schools. And we are also working in Leh, Ladakh, Kargil with the Indian Army. They have a project called Operation Sadbhavana, and we have worked with all the places, mostly in terrorist affected areas, taking this mobile planetarium and science lab to do this. Is it getting resolved? All right, I'll just take you through this. See, Tari Zameen Par is an initiative where we take an inflatable dome planetarium. I mean, we reach out to last mile of the country, and an inflatable dome, like what you see in Nehru Planetarium, it is a dome-shaped civil structure. Here, what we do is an inflatable dome. When I blow it, around 50 kids can sit inside this inflatable dome, and we project 3D shows related to astronomy. And in fact, we have gone into human anatomy as well, and creating this immersive experience opportunities. And we are partners of ISRO, and we have been highly appreciated by. Unfortunately, I could have shown you some of the videos that NASA and some of our beneficiaries are appreciating it, but unfortunately, I am not able to show that video. But this is one of our product. And we also make and take this mobile science lab. One side we have a 75-inch TV, internet connected, and lot of scientists from Baba Atomic Research Center and ISRO participate in this and interact with kids, take their questions, answers them, kind of an inspiration to the kids actually. And the other side we have the science experiments platform. And we make these science kits, and these are age-wise from 6th standard to 10th standard. They all the experiments covering their syllabus, and together, all put together, we run a program called Spark of Curiosity. It is a 9 months long program engaging students on immersive learning, taking the planetarium, experiential learning, taking the distributing these science kits, and inspiration learning, making them talk to some of the top scientists of India. And we also organize a quiz program called Kaun Banega Sopati, in line with Kaun Banega Karodpati, where we make a girl child sit on the hot chair, start with 1 rupee, and ask her simple questions to make her win. But the idea is the whole class gets so excited, they start participating in class, and we have seen a lot of improvement in the class actually. And we make them play small skits and dramas related to science. And there are a lot of activities that we do, and this just costs what you spend on a small dinner outside. I mean, and the impact has been phenomenal. We did a study, and 15% increase in the attendance, and no dropout in those schools. And the amount of mass scored is also increasing. The important thing is the kind of questions asked, participation in the class has dramatically increased. And entry barriers to our initiative, this is a very innovative initiative, highly technical. The dome, the way we have designed it, my mechanical skills have come handy. Though I mostly worked with KPMG in London for 10 years, I want to do something here. My mechanical skills came in handy, and the way we were designed. And another thing that we have done is no planetarium in India has done it, which is integrating a virtual reality inside the dome. I can actually make the kids with a joystick. I can give them an experience of touring the space, touring inside the body, heart, lungs, and all that. This kind of an experience I can provide. And we have big scale. At any given day, we are reaching on a working day 10,000 students on every day. We also work with the NCSM, National Council of Science Museums, running their mobile science exhibitions around 20 planetariums, and we have we are official tutors of ISRO. And we have reached 30 lakh students so far working in these areas, around 11,000 schools. And this year we have plans to reach around 1.5 million students. And this is our model. We actually, interestingly, we found this model a year ago, where these are very exciting tools, even for our private schools. They cannot afford even urban schools. We charge them heavily, almost 10, 15 times of what, and they are paying. And the same amount we are spending on rural kids. And that has been a great this one. And PPP model is government, where we are working with government of Karnataka, and we are trying to get into many this one where we invest in the infrastructure, and the government has to pay the operation cost. And CSR partnership is another thing, and we also sell these things that we do. And this is our team, and thanks to Dr. Shiv Prasad Kaned, who was a former director of Nehru Science Center, Mumbai Vishweshwar Technology Museum, and he was a founding CEO of Pradhan Mantri Sangralaya. He has been mentoring us, and initial mentorship was provided by Dr. U.R. Rao, who is no more with us sadly. And this is what we want to do. We want to go to around 1 lakh villages in the next 5 years, benefit 50 million kids, and create the way kids are learning, and create these hotbeds of innovation. And in fact, there is a lot of learning from today's talks. I mean, amazing. I mean, I'm happy to be here, and this is going to have a very, very positive impact on our trust. And this is our ask, where if you can introduce us to CSR heads. We want to scale up, connect with ministries and different governments. Introduction to chain of private schools. There are many big chain of schools would like to get introduced, and the same profit that we make is to be spent on rural kids and HNIs, and that's another thing. And these are several awards that we won, appreciations, and some of the key people who have visited us. And one of the important asks that I had today was we are launching this program in Pune. I wanted to ask Dr. Mishelkar to be a part of that, bless that as a chief guest, but unfortunately he's not here. If somebody can help me make it, then that would be grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dinesh. We'll open it up for questions for all participants. Yes. I don't know if there's a mic, but
Can I just ask?
yeah, please.
I wanted to ask you, ma'am, fabulous work, just in terms of the skill gap that you're observing, especially with people who are coming to the camps. At what age, what stage are they dropping out, and what is the skill gap that you find it challenging to fill before they are really ready to enter the market?
Surely. Thank you, and I would love to answer this. So since we work in rural areas, I'll tell you an incident while answering this. So there are a lot of ITI people, a lot of diploma people. They come with a degree of 80% marks and 90% marks. And then we ask them basic questions. Suppose he or she is an electrical. Okay, what is current? And they are not able to answer. And then we ask them, how did you get 90% marks? They said, we have not gone to school, college. We just got this degree. This is also one of the challenges that we are facing while working. This might not be the case in Maharashtra, but there are cases like this in some of the states. So now you can understand the skill gap. The thing is, they have the degree, but they don't have the skill to do the work. And since we are working, most of the people are from the blue-collar workforce or from the technical workforce, they need to work. They need to understand the work, else it is a safety issue. Also, when they go in front of the machine, they cannot work if they understand. So the thing is, we have to give them practical training also. So that is why, in our skilling, we have 6 verticals. One vertical is completely dedicated. It's called Trade Skill Shala, where suppose if it is an EV electrical operator or a technician, we have to actually give a 3 months of minimum training to that person, how he or she should handle the machine. And then only we deploy. So in some areas, there are huge skill gap. In some areas, like for the non-technical jobs, like the facility management jobs, there it is not so intensive in the technical skills. So there, even with the 3 weeks or 2 weeks of training, they can be easily deployed. So yes, there are huge skill, depends on which sector we are talking.
Yes, please. Okay, there's someone, sorry, they've got a mic. I will come to you next, sorry.
Can I go?
Please.
Yeah, madam, I liked Pathak madam's presentation very much. It's a kind of a great achievement. It goes with employment generation, poverty elevation, and things like that. So my question is, I come from a town nearby, Solapur, and there's a particular Telugu community women, they roll BDs. Okay, so BD Kamgar Mahila is the issue in front of my mind to ask you, because you have a Rozgar Dhaba and you provide employment, etc. So these women, they roll BDs, and it's not a good thing to do because it causes lots of cancer-related issues and problems. So what is the alternative for them, you know? And these Mahilas, they come under the typical Lal Bauta political cadre, which sort of controls them in many ways. So, but the women want to come out of it. And there's a large stock of these women, all from BPL, below poverty line, and economically weaker section, etc. So I think they are in search of a proper, replacement to what they do, what their skills are. So will you be interested to come there and do an assessment survey? And these women come from the particular Telugu community. So there is a Padmashali Nati Samstha, there is a Padmashali Akhil Bharatiya Padmashali Sangham, which can invite you, or somebody can invite you. Maybe a city chamber of commerce might want to invite you. So will you be able to sort of guide us and help us on that? Because nobody is doing it. City corporation, the city people should do something about it, and they are left high and dry and in a very debilitating situation. So if you can guide, thanks.
Surely, thank you for asking, and we would love to. Reason being, if they really want to come out of that work, there are other alternative also that can be trained to them, and we do that training. We firstly train one person or two person from that, and that's how they train the whole cluster of the community. And then we can also help them get the jobs so that they can do it at their own place after learning that, like a crochet kind of work, or there are basket making, or there are cooler making. I mean, the alternates of more safer jobs that they can be trained to. So surely would love to connect. I think we spoke during that. Surely do connect.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Very, very insightful and interesting. My name is Ashish Vaishnav. I'm from Pune only. My question is to Dineshji. Well, you are making people reach for the stars. Excellent initiative. I just wanted to ask you to set up one such center, if I have to say. What costs does it entail? And the other part is, if you have to actually host it at some place, where someone wants to rent it out, or what kind of costs which get associated with, and what kind of space you need for it. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm sure you are asking about the planetarium, because we also do science centers, science. So when you talk about that is a unique thing about us, quite an innovative one. So there are different sizes of domes. The smallest one is 5-meter diameter, which is like 5 meter by 5 meter. 17 feet by 17 feet size indoor space is what is required to set it up. We don't set it up in the outer ground just to protect the expensive items from the sun or whatever. And typically, if you want to take these kids to a planetarium, nearest one is Mumbai, and it would cost, even if you take them in a bus, it would cost anywhere between 150 to 200 rupees per child, with all the monitoring, a teacher taking care of everything. It's, but the same thing, we will come to the society or a school. It costs 70 to 80 rupees per child. And per day, we can cover up to 500 students in a batch of 40. We have different shows, and these shows are in local languages like Marathi, Telugu, Kannada, and all that, and mapped to different age groups. There are, we have more than 300 shows, and many of them in Marathi. We can do that. Yeah, I think I answered all the questions.
The cost of setting up one such?
Well, cost of setting up, again, it all depends on the bill of material. It can cost somewhere between 20 lakhs to a crore. I mean, depending on whether you also want a bus, a diesel generator, kind of projection system you want, a lot of things, kind of number of shows you need, depends on all that. The minimum one can be set up at that lowest cost. Yeah. Thank you.
It's not a question, but it's an offer to Pathak ma'am. So we are a Pune-based organization and we work in Pune and Nagpur. So we can be placement partners for you. We can hire your people.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
if I get your contact number, I'll get back to you. Sure. Yeah. Thank
Yes, sir.
Wonderful initiatives and wonderful projects. I just want to recount my recent research in Uttarakhand. So we were in Champawat district there. That's one of the underdeveloped places. Last 3 years, there's been no rain and people are migrating. And that's the case with most of these, mountain Himalayan region. So education has no meaning left there, education or learning or motivation. I think everybody wants to just get out because even agriculture has failed. So because that's a skilling and, sort of learning and skilling and livelihoods was one of the topics that we were exploring. How do you think these kind of places be brought back to at least some state of normalcy? Because the situation is pretty dire. Anyone can answer, yeah.
I'll just touch base on to what you said. You're right. And that is the reason when we work from a 5th pass to a graduate or a postgraduate level, because in villages also there are people of all skill and all education level. Now that doesn't mean if somebody is 8th pass or 5th pass, and that's why you said education, it's more than that. People wants to have livelihood. The thing is, everybody wants to get that livelihood option. What can be done is, and you are right, what we try to do is, we try to understand if there is any local or nearest by opportunity available to them. Now, like Uttarakhand, there are states in Bihar and part of eastern UP are also having the similar concerns and the issues. There are no infrastructure developments. Agri is not that boosting thing and it's not giving that productivity self. And then how people will survive in? Then that's the reason they migrate. They migrate in bulks and they come to the cities. It's also put pressure on the cities because cities infrastructure has not been developed to take care of so many people. So what we try to do is, what is that nearest? And good thing is that with the e-commerce spurting up, like companies like Flipkart, Amazon, they have their centers now even in those tier 2 towns, tier 3 towns. So what we are trying to do is, when anybody register with us, we try to give them what is the nearest possible organized sector that they can work in. It's not that everybody has to come to Pune, Mumbai, Bangalore and Delhi. No. If it's in UP, even in UP, what is it? Because at least that person will stay for a longer time because he or she is in the same zone of language and culture. Second is, he or she will also be more productive to the hirer who is going to hire them. Third is, it is helping them for a safer livelihood. So that is one thing which we are trying. I'm not saying we have solved the problem. There is still a way to go ahead. But I believe having that local for local opportunities and searching on that and having that is the one way out that I can suggest for anybody else can add.
Well, that's really a multifaceted challenge, right, that we talked about. Did you want to talk about your experiences with states with environmental issues, migration, and how education plays?
So thank you for that question. Actually, that really made me think. I think one of the factors is that we also don't know the exact reasons for migration. We know the one reason being monetary value. But, as Neelam was mentioning, are people really aware of the skills with the opportunities within the areas where they reside? With adolescents, we see this problem coming up as well, right? We see adolescent boys dropping out to enter labor markets. We see adolescent girls dropping out. So one of the things in interventions that we have is called the Back to School program, where we use community engagement to be able to really understand what are the causes for dropouts. And sometimes it's as simple as the school doesn't have a toilet and that's why children are not going to school. The school is too far away. right? So I think conducting a needs assessment at that level becomes really important, and we've developed this tool to be able to tell us on different indicators why don't children show up to school, right? And this, of course, has an implication on skilling and livelihood as well, because if they don't complete schools, they don't have the essential skills as well. So that is something that we do.
Dinesh, would you like to add in? Well, this reminds me of my own situation. Like, I'm from a northern part of Karnataka, and this is a typical problem that used to happen. Now that a lot of things, which is irrigated, and even earlier the destination was Pune. Who were even graduates, mechanical engineers. Those days only electrical, mechanical, and civil. The first destination was Pune, and then Mumbai. But now, luckily, all those areas are well irrigated, and people are also moving to Bangalore. And I think now things are improving, at least from Karnataka point of view. Things have but again, if you look at Karnataka, it is skewed towards developing everything and towards south. That's another challenge. Unlike Maharashtra, you have many cities in Maharashtra. All the development happening is skewed towards Bangalore, and I think we are living with this.
Yeah, there's for Neelam Madam, there's another comment or question. Let's not spend time. So the focus there was also on women entrepreneurship, and government is trying to push them, literally push them hard to come out and do some rozgar. So some livelihood programs like Pirul craft or Loha craft or something, is setting up these SHGs, etc. And these women are saying we don't have time because we spend 4 or 5 hours on managing water, 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours in farm because there are no men left, and then 4 or 5 hours in managing family and everything. It's like 14 hours are gone, and सरकार हमसे चाहती है कि 4 घंटा और काम करें. हमारे पास नहीं है. Plus they don't have those many skills. So they want a woman to be a craftsperson, marketeer, raw material collector, finance manager, everything in one go. And I think that's another thing about that entire livelihoods program, whereas the local youth, the men and the boys, are just hanging around, and then finally they go to migrate and work in cities.
What we do is we just want the women to learn the trade skills there. We are not saying that you play the role of a marketeer or this thing. What we as an organization is helping, that you learn the skill. Now, if you are digital savvy, you learn on the digital skill. If you are, you can learn on the skill, handmade skills, you learn on the hand skill. And then what we are also facilitating them, that once they have learned the skill, now who is going to buy from them? The whole supply chain also we are fixing it up for the local reason, so that they don't have to go and sell it. There will be somebody who's going to pick up from their house. So we need to get to that level. Then only they will be actually interested in saying that, okay, I want to use my 4 hours or 3 hours, whatever the time I'm left. And when they are earning also with that. So what we do is, whenever we have this kind of thing, we actually fix up even what the price the the person is going to buy from them. Like as I was giving the example of kullad making, so wo kullad making ka pura supply chain also we fix it up. So that then it is more of automation process for them. वो अपने घर पे ही उनको मिट्टी भी आती है, वो उनको एक fix up करके हमने mechanical model भी दे रखा है for cooler with the dice, and then they are making, and 600 per day they are able to make it, and somebody, the person is coming and picking it up, and the distribution is somebody else's head, pain. It's not their problem. That's how we can resolve into those issues as well.
Thank you. I think I just want to thank all the audience members for their insightful questions, and to the presenters for their fantastic presentations and the mission that they have embarked on. More power to all of you. With this, I'll have to disappoint those who have more questions because we're running short of time, and we close this session. So thanks everybody. Thank you.
Ms. Veguru and Mr. Kothari, if you could wait, I would like to invite Mr. Dinanath Kholkar to felicitate our chair and co-chair.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.